So, two things that I took away from the critical thinking reading or article was that we need to be using higher orders of thinking when we are reading articles or different research or even just listening to people in our everyday lives. We need to be able to reflect, think, and then take everything in and assess it and think, how is this relating to me? Is this something that I can relate to? Is this something that's true? Is this something that I can make a deeper connection with? I think a lot of times when we read something or we talk to someone, it's very surface level and we don't dig deep into what people are talking about or what they're trying to explain. So I think that this critical thinking article really shed light on the fact that we need to be asking questions. We need to be creating our own thoughts and our own opinions rather than just blindly following whatever we read. So just taking what we're reading and then kind of regurgitating that and making our own opinion about it, while also using like fact and you know evidence that we find in our text or when we're talking to someone or listening to a lecture, but not always just taking what someone has to say or has provided to you and just going, okay, they must be right, or oh, that's the only right way to do it. Just kind of taking a step back and looking at it from a different angle and really kind of questioning and analyzing why we're learning what we're learning, and just thinking about things in a critical way. I know a lot of times, in college I've read things and I'm like, all right, I'm just trying to pass and, you know, get through this. But at the end of the day, really taking the time to understand it and then even try to like explain it to someone else is a great way to test your critical thinking skills. Um, and then I was reading it and I was thinking to myself, okay, so like where am I on this critical thinking and like what level am I on? So I honestly think that I'm probably like a beginning thinker or a practice thinker. Definitely not a master thinker. I think that I do have inconsistencies in my thinking and that I have shortcomings in my thinking. I think that I need to spend more time focusing on, like I said, what I'm taking in and really considering it, asking questions, digging a little deeper, doing more research, following up to ensure that I really understand what I'm learning about or what I'm reading about or what I'm taking in. And just asking questions all the time. I think that's really important. And then one thing that I took away from the practitioner readings, I actually really enjoyed the practitioner readings. I thought it was really nice and enlightening to read about different counselors and what they think are good attributes and skills that counselors should have. And I think that a lot of um, counselors in the article, the first article talked about, flexibility, having empathy for clients, being genuine, advocating for them. It's more than just listening to someone's problems and just, yeah, and just responding in that way. We need to be engaged with our clients and really trying to understand them. And also, like, a lot of it mentioned taking a step back and checking ourselves so that we're not being biased or prejudiced towards our clients. We might expect them or want them to accomplish something or to realize something in a certain amount of time, but that's not always the case. And so we need to just kind of meet clients where they're at and allow them to come to their aha moment when they're ready and when it's the right time and the right moment for them. So that was something I really liked to learn about and read about. And then I really liked the 10 keys to becoming a great counselor that was in that first practitioner article. I thought that it was really enlightening and just cool to read. And then in the scientist practitioner advocate model, I thought it was really important to highlight social justice and advocating for communities that don't have very much exposure and just don't have as many people backing them, like women, people of color, people who come from low socioeconomic statuses. I think that it's very important to be an advocate and to be a voice for them and to really sit down and think about the values and the attributes and just what is important in these communities and really try to be a voice and to represent them in a way that is appropriate and accurate to each community that you're trying to represent. I think it's important to sit down and to listen to everyone and hear where they're coming from and hear their struggles and hear their problems, and then try to find a way to help them and advocate for them in different spaces, whether that be locally, whether that be statewide, nationally, all those things. I really enjoyed all the readings this week, and I think that they're all very important and good things to read about in order to become a great counselor, and just things to think about, because, like I said earlier, it's not just listening to someone and nodding your head and saying, okay, I hear you, well, how does that make you feel? It's not just that. It's really digging deeper and getting to know your clients and advocating for them and creating those relationships and partnerships in order to be the best counseling provider that you could be. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed the readings this week, and I took a lot away from